Welcome in everybody to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe P's up here. With me is Joe Orrico, back-to-back days, baby. And we're here on the Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be Monday through Friday, noon Eastern. We are live. The Welsh is still on vacation. Well, I'll say vacation, but let's be honest. He's on a trip with his kids. We're doing dance competition stuff. So he is washing leotards. He is, massaging jazz hands so nobody cramps up. It's a whole thing. And I'm so glad Joe Orrico is joining us again to talk some baseball. And again, if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Drop your comments below, and you might just win yourself a Cecil Fielder jersey from pristineauction.com. Joe Orrico, we're giving this bad boy away, I think, was it Monday or Tuesday? I don't know. It's coming soon. One of these days, I guess Tuesday would be the first. So we got to give it away on the first. So this is it. Your last chance. Subscribe, ring the bell to close ding, like the video. Cecil Fielder jersey can be yours, autographed by Big Daddy Cecil Fielder himself. Joe Orrico, good to see you, my friend. Yesterday, a light day of baseball. Do you like the light days of baseball where you could focus in a little bit more on what's going on? Or are you a full slate kind of guy?
As a content person, I tend to like the Mondays and Thursdays where I'm able to fully appreciate the slate. When there's 15 games going on, especially if it's on a weekend and the start times are all within an hour or two, things get lost. It's impossible to watch all the games going on at once. So when we have a shorter slate, we can really hone in on the important things. So let's get into it, my friend.
Yes. Let's start with a question here because I like this one. Yo from the Big Dance. We starting Eovaldi and Yuri Perez today. I'm a no to both of these. Personally, I want to see it first, especially from Perez. I need to see a little bit more. If you're desperate, if I had to pick only one of them, Eovaldi would be the guy that I would pick. But again, I know he threw like a 50 pitch bullpen and he said I'm good to go. I'm still skeptical that it's going to be a great return, but I don't know. Joe, what do you think about Eovaldi and Perez just throwing them to the Wolves today?
I think it's a little bit risky on both fronts. Now, Arizona is missing Corbin Carroll, which is a huge piece of the
True.
offense. So I feel a little bit better about that than I would have a few days ago. With Eovaldi, I think it's more so just a worry about how long he's going to go, whether it's going to be 60, 70 pitches or if they just let him go. I think that generally speaking, if it's a daily format, I'm probably going Eovaldi and leaning towards sitting Perez, but I wouldn't have a problem sitting either of them just to see how they look in their first time back.
All right, we did have a return yesterday of Shota Imanaga. One hit, five scoreless innings on Thursday against the Cardinals. Seth's Cardinals, they're our producer. He came back from the IL, 46 fastballs, 5 outs on the fastballs and 27 strikes on those, with 19 coming on foul balls. He struck out 3 guys. His ERA is now 2.54. His record is 4.2. But I keep saying the same thing, which is the deeper lying metrics on Shota Imanaga are not great. They haven't been all year. Strikeout rate down by a long shot. Walk rate up. Expected ERA higher, way higher than the regular ERA, which is sub 3 right now. I still say that if you have Shota Imanaga and you somehow landed on Mizorowski or you picked up Bubic or whoever you have that's been getting it done and Imanaga can bring you back a big bat you need, I'd be willing to make that deal. What did you think of Imanaga's return, and what do you think of his value rest of season? Because I feel like he's still a guy who could bring back a ton for you in a trade.
Yeah, fairly promising return, just one hit over the 5 innings. But I agree with you that he is somebody that I would be looking to sell. And I think if the majority of people are going to look at ERA and WHIP, and those are at 2.54 and 1.03. So I agree that you'd be able to get a really nice return, but 18% strikeout rate is awful. That's well below average. Like that's not even really playable in most leagues, down from 25% last year. The walk rate's almost doubled. I'm a big expected stat guy. If you look at the expected ERA, the FIP, the Sierra, they're about 2 full runs higher
Yeah,
than
it's
his
not a
actual
little.
ERA.
Like
No,
it's a
this is
that's the thing I keep saying. It's like 2.54 is the ERA, but his expected ERA is 4.30.
yeah,
That's ridiculous.
that's
The
it's a
expected
big
FIP is 4.82. The FIP is 4.32. I mean, this is a huge cavern, Joe.
yeah, and I think a lot of it does come down to the strikeouts because a lot of those metrics do rely heavily on strikeouts and walks, and those have been awful for him this year. But he's not a big stuff guy. The swing strike rate has gone down this year from where it was last year. There's not a lot that's terribly encouraging with Shota Imanaga. He still gets a good amount of whiffs, but I'm overall really on the side of selling him if you're able to, and I think you are able to.
All right, let's get to Who Dat Who Cheered a question here. I have a fantasy court question. Oh, boy. If two teams agree on an initial trade, but the trade that got sent was different, sent late at night, and worse for the person who sent it, and it was accepted, is that trade subject to a veto? Or is this just a moral issue? I don't understand. If you're sending a trade, don't you have to like agree on the players in whatever system you're playing on? Like, how does that work? I don't understand.
The trade that got sent was different. So you agreed on player A, player B, and then it was somebody made a last second switch. I don't
how do
really
you make this?
understand.
How do you do this? I'm like,
I
look,
don't
you have to have you have to have receipts on this and speak to the commissioner. So if you have screenshots or you have a text thread or so, but again, this is just weird. Like, what? This is not like 1997 where it's like, oh, I called so and so and he said it's okay to make this trade, and then tomorrow you have to check the USA Today to get the stats so you make sure that you can tabulate everything correctly. Like, what the hell are we doing here? What year is it? Are we playing on Roto, Joe? Is that where he's playing?
I That's
It's a
very
little
good.
inside baseball.
I
On the
think
baseball show. See what I
I,
did
I'm
there?
I'm really confused. No, that was very good. But I'm
Okay.
confused. I think we need a little bit more context on what the parts are in this trade. If somebody made a last second swap and somebody
I don't even understand
accepted it,
how. I don't understand the logistics of this.
because
I
whoever
want a whole. This
it's
is where we help to bring a person on the show and have them talk it out.
yeah.
Shout out to who just subbed with Prime SMK Teach. Welcome to the show, baby. Let's go. Let's get to some more headlines here. Daniel Palencia for the Cubs. Fan 3 of the 5 batters he faced. He got a save there, so we were wondering about where Palencia is with his bullpen. I got all 3 of my bets right yesterday, Joe. So after going 0-3, back 3-0. It's a beautiful thing. Cristopher Sanchez struck out 11 guys in that game against the Astros, and the Astros, Hunter Brown, struck out 9. I figured it was going to be one of those kind of games, and it was. Shane Baz was terrific, too, yesterday. She struck out 9 in 8 scoreless innings. Baz and Pepio really leading the charge here for these Tampa Bay Rays right now. And, Joe, it feels like, the Rays should be buyers at the deadline. Like, they've got trade chips. They always do. They could bring in a little bit more offense, maybe something else too, maybe another bullpen piece. I don't know, but it feels like the Rays should stop futzing around. And like one of these years, especially in the American League, is so weak. I feel like this year,
Yeah.
the Central's very weak. The West has had a lot of injuries. The East is the Yankees, and the Yankees I don't think are unbeatable in a short series. I don't know. It just feels like if you're a Rays fan and there's like 3 of them and one of them is Jason Collette, I kind of feel like you should just go for it. Just go for it. 1 year. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, it's just their organization. They're not going to be the type of team to go and acquire, like if a Soto is available or somebody like that. But there are definitely moves they can make. The Pirates are going to be huge sellers, I would imagine. There's, if they want to reinforce the pen, they could go for a Bednar. You could maybe go for a Mitch Keller, although they don't really need a starting pitcher.
What about Reynolds?
Reynolds would be interesting. The only problem is that their outfield has been a bit of a logjam, but I think Brian Reynolds would slot
I was
in
gonna say
pretty
maybe that solves
immediately.
it.
That might
Maybe
solve it, yeah.
maybe you have to deal with Chandler Simpson or something like that. Michael wants to know
Yeah.
Yuri Perez or Jacob Lopez. So who would you rather start this weekend?
Just for this, like if we're talking about this
Lopez
week,
this weekend or Lopez is Monday?
let me
I have to
look.
look at that.
Lopez's next start. So he's
Let's
got a
just-
2-start week next
He
week.
does. I thought he was
And
Monday. Mhm.
Tampa and
So
San
let's just say in a
Francisco.
vacuum. Who do you want rest of season here? I'd still want Yuri Perez.
I'd still want Yuri, but Lopez is a great pickup. Next week is a pretty decent 2-step, although the first part of it coming at Tampa doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies. But that second start at San Francisco is a pretty solid one to target. Just at Tampa right now is a little scary.
Chambies wants to know, hey guys, trade question here. 10-team head-to-head category league. 5 outfielders. My outfielders are Carroll, Jackson, Merrill, Churio, Wood, Schwarber, and Quan. It's pretty good. I need middle infield help. I've been offered Trey Turner and Bubic for Carroll. Take it.
Take it now.
Right
Yeah.
now. Chambies, take it right now. Because you don't know when he's coming back, what it looks like when he comes back. And you've got to really, Merrill hopefully is better in the second half. Merrill, Churio, Wood, Schwarber, Quan. That's no brainer. You got some really good value. Turner and a pitcher, 100%. Harper or Jazz rest of season. If we're talking about Bryce Harper, come on, bro. Ryan, come on.
Yeah, it's probably Bryce, but just the injury stuff, I guess. I haven't seen the most recent updates on
Okay,
it.
Jazz is the picture of health, Orrico. Come on.
This is true. Actually, you know what? They're saying Harper could be activated as soon as Monday. So, that's
Yeah.
pretty easily Harper.
Harper all day. And Ryan says, can someone please teach him how to sub with Amazon Prime? Talk to our Michael Callie producer right now. Callie and Seth will tell you let's post the instructions That's what we'll do. We'll post the instructions in the chat here. Harper looks like he might be coming back Monday. Who dat wants to know Chase Burns, Jacob Perez, or Edward Cabrera rest of season.
Jacob Perez. Who's Jacob Perez? Is that Jacob
Uh,
Lopez and
I
Yuri
think he
Perez?
means Lopez. I think he made Yuri Perez and Jacob Perez one person. I think they had a baby. It's got to be Edward Cabrera. He's been so steady. I know Chase Burns is fun, but again, I'm not there yet, like everybody else.
Yeah, it's probably Cabrera followed closely by Burns for me.
Michael Impo says that's a clown question, bro. God, I love Bryce Harper. I do, and he's a Philly and a National his whole career, and I still love him as a Mets fan.
That was in Toronto. That quote, that lovely quote,
that's
was
right,
hilarious.
And then, of course, the media agent from the Canadian press apologized. So sorry.
Why wouldn't Americans drink when they're 20 and they come to Canada? I'm assuming they all do. You know, he's a Mormon, so it's a different story there. But
I mean, I did. Kevin Gausman hurled 8 innings yesterday. You just never know. He's like a box of chocolates, isn't he? Just don't know which one you're going to get all the time. So you've had to. You've been into a few of your Kevin Gausman starts yourself this year as a Blue Jay fan. Some will make you want to spit it out right away, and others, he's delicious. This was delicious. I don't know when you start Gausman, except you just leave him in and hope for the best every week. I don't know what else to say at this point.
yeah, I mean, he lives and dies by the splitter, and it's been better as a whole this year. He's definitely better than last season. The stuff is back up. The swinging strike rate is back up. His whip, which is, I tend to look at whip a lot more than ERA, and that's at 106. You know, the ERA being a 4.21 isn't great, but all the expected ERAs and xFIPs of the world are better. So I'm still pretty confident in him. I agree that it's still a bit of a wild card, and in certain tough matchups, you might want to lean towards sitting him, but I'm still pretty confident with Gausman going forward.
This is a all-star question right here, or quote. Wild and Wonderful says, is Dad, a.k.a. Brandon Woodruff, ever getting back from getting the milk? No, he's not. He's never coming back. That's really funny. Well done. Wild and Wonderful. Well done. That's an A+ comment right there. All right, let's get to some bats here. I'll start with the Marlins, who got the upset. Junk was crap, but didn't matter because Agustin Ramirez, 3 for 5 with a homer. Kyle Stowers a 3-run homer, and the Marlins beat the crap out of Hayden Birdsong and the Giants. Rafael Devers in that game did go 3 for 4, but got the upset special on the money line, plus 160 yesterday. How you doing? Love it. Shohei Ohtani went 1 for 3, so I didn't pick Shohei Ohtani. He hit a home run. I picked him. He didn't. And then I picked his teammate, and he did. So Shohei Ohtani, you can suck it. That's right, Shohei Ohtani. Enough. I can't believe you. Just very frustrated with Shohei Ohtani. I'm so frustrated that I'm not going to pick him this weekend. So he's going to hit a ton of home runs. Also in that game, Clayton Kershaw went to 4-0 against the Rock. Oh, am I okay? Did I freeze? I heard the weird noise.
Just for a split second, but you're back.
I heard the noise. All right. Clayton Kershaw, back to him. 6 great innings, a 3.03 ERA now in the season, a 1.19 whip, 29 strikeouts to 13 walks and 38 innings. So the strikeout rate, still not great. But he's kind of getting by on guts and guile, and it looks like Joe Orrico is now frozen here. So can you I can hear you, Joe Orrico, but seeing you is the issue. So now I can do Puppet Joe. Hey, look at me. I'm from Canada, eh? Oh, goodness. Oh, geez. Oh, yeah. It's so excited to be here. It's about time I talked about Clayton Kershaw, eh? Oh, yeah. He's quite a hoser.
Oh, my God. They're getting the 2-for-1. They're getting the 2-for today on Frozen Joes.
Too many Frozen Joes, eh? I got a brain freeze with all them Frozen Joes. Yeah, sorry.
I want too much time in the igloo, my friend.
Anyway, Clayton Kershaw getting Frozen Joe special, getting by on guts and guile, which I think is impressive. Like, this is what you want. This is a pitcher. You know, this is a guy going to the Hall of Fame, just like Pedro Martinez at the end. You know, he didn't have the stuff anymore when he was pitching for the Phillies, especially. And he was just like, you know what? I'm just going to try to figure it out. And he's doing it. And you know what? It turned out to be a huge blessing that he came back because they needed him this year. They've needed these 30-plus innings that they've gotten from Kershaw in the worst way.
I would say I agree with everything you said, but I do think that you could probably look towards selling him right now. After a few good starts, the name value probably isn't what it used to be, but
fair.
Clayton Kershaw with a 3.03 ERA, somebody who's just lost some pitching might be interested in him. And considering the strikeout rate going down, the walk rate being as high as it's pretty much ever been going back 15 years, if you look at the zone contact numbers, batters are making more contact in the zone than they ever have, and they're chasing less than they ever have before. The stuff is taking a nosedive as well. Like, he is succeeding right now, but I think that the bottom will fall out from under him. And I wonder, because he's only a couple strikeouts away from 3,000. He's 3 away. Yeah. Once he hits that number, I wonder what the rest of the season is going to look like from him. Not that he's going to just stop performing after that necessarily, but I think that's a big milestone that he wants to hit. And once we get there, I don't really know what to expect from him going forward. But if you can sell based off of, this is Clayton Kershaw, he's got a 3 ERA, then I'd be in favor of doing that.
It's really smart. Now would be the time to sell on him. You never know what kind of other injuries or the age catching up with him. Glass now, by the way, it looks like after the All-Star break. I think they said the 11th of July is when they might target for him to be quote-unquote ready. That would put him right after the All-Star break, basically. So that would be, if you could do it between now and then, that's the time to do it. All right, BD, Joe, you need to tell us you almost picked for the home run call today. No, I'm not going to tell you. Actually, I think it was Soto who I almost picked, and I didn't pick him. So there you go. So I'll keep it real. I keep it real on the show. Angel Theory. Someone dropped Albies. Do I grab him? I have Simeon and Aranda. Would you drop one of those guys for Albies? It's kind of tough.
Maybe Simeon, but Simeon's been pretty damn good for a
Simeon's
while.
pick things up. Aranda's the one who splits scare the crap out of me. His road splits are terrible. He is on the road, and they got a ton of road games coming up. Like, that might be if I'm dying to get him, that might be the road to go to.
Might be, but it would be tough. Aranda's been, he's hitting 330. He's been really good. He deserves to be an all-star.
On the road.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have the guts to do that one. I think I would understand it, but Albies has been pretty disappointing. I still like Albies a lot. I think he's going to turn it around, but I would probably prefer Aranda if I had to pick.
All right, here's a fun one. Pick a Tyler. My new favorite game. It's like Squid Games. Pick a Tyler. Soderstrom or Freeman. What Tyler do you want rest of season? I want Tyler Freeman. I got zero hesitation on this one.
I think it's probably Freeman. I think that he's going to come back to earth a little bit. He's one of those, slap hitter guys who's going to be a pretty good asset in your batting average, but the Colorado lineup around him is really bad. Soderstrom would be the pick for me if you're really desperate for power. If you really need power, Tyler Freeman's probably not going to do a hell of a lot for you, but he'd probably be the pick eight times out of 10, I'd say.
All right. I made a joke the other day that I said that Genesis Cabrera, you start out hot when you're working the New York clubs or Miami Beach, and then eventually you move to Jersey. And then I said, eventually, you end up working at the strip club by the airport in Pittsburgh. And that's exactly what happened to Genesis Cabrera, because he just got signed by the Pittsburgh Pirates yesterday. So I call it fortuitousness, call it women's intuition. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Somehow I nailed this. This Genesis Cabrera. It's almost kind of creepy, the connectivity I have to this player. And the fact that he is not fantasy relevant, but become like an unofficial mascot of this show. It's kind of amazing. And the question is, will we see him in Pittsburgh on the main stage this year? Joe Orrico.
No, his name might as well be Exodus Cabrera. I don't think that's
Bible humor. That's 2 Bible jokes this week on leading off. Because somebody asked if we wanted to keep this person, or Christ. And they said Christian Moore, but they just said Christ. And I said, well, you got to wait for him to come off the IL in 3 days. But,
oh, my God.
So it's 2 Bible jokes that we've gotten in a week. That's pretty awesome.
That's what you get when you couple of Italians, right? A couple of Roman Catholic upbringings.
Hell yeah. Hey, man, we did all the sacraments. My parents wrote all the checks so that I'm not going to hell. All right, let's get to the rookie Lookie. Cam Smith singled and drove in a run there. He is now up to 271, 340, 402. So Cam Smith really, I think, starting to pick things up. He's looked much better in the last month. So I'm optimistic. I know it was struggle busts in April and May a little bit, but June's looking better. And I give the Astros credit saying, hey, we're going to stick with this kid for better or worse, and we're not going to, overreact, and so far it's paying off. Jordan Lawler, who's a guy that I do think you should still pick up this week, it's going to be cheaper to pick him up because he's going to miss at least a week. He's got a hamstring injury, so, he's had so many injuries, but stash him now anyway if you have roster room, because come August, he's going to be playing every day. There's no doubt about that. Maybe even by the All-Star break, he's going to be playing every day. Didier Fuentes is going to make another start if they're Braves rotation. Do you think that's a good idea, Joe Orrico? I do not.
No, I don't. I think they're kind of pushing the issue here. He's 20, just turned 20 years old. He hasn't looked great. It looks like the next.
Canada, though.
he can come down to my neck of the woods and have a beer, and he might
right.
need one if they keep him up and keep getting thrashed. I mean, next week it's Baltimore, it looks like, which isn't too bad. And then if he stays in the rotation, it's St. Louis after that. So not terrible, but I'm going to be taking the over in those games probably.
Yeah, I mean, certainly not been good. And again, it's just a lot of pressure on him. So Atlanta's got to figure things out. You know, Atlanta, they have a stretch here. This is it. These next couple games, right? Because they play the Orioles, they play the Angels, they play the Athletics, and I think the Cardinals in this mix before the All-Star break. So they could still chop away at that wild card. But if they don't, if they go 500 over that stretch, I think they should call it a day. Rapid Flash, thank you for resubbing. We appreciate you. Let's get to some other questions we've got here. We have Whodat, who cheered more stuff. Chase Burns, Jacob Perez, or Edward Cabrera. I think we did that already. Though.
We did that one, yeah.
We did that one. McTunda, 10-team head-to-head, got offered Bichette and Jacob Mizorowski for Lindor. No, I'm not trading Lindor.
Yeah, it's a no. It's not too far off. It's in the ballpark, but I want a little bit more.
Yeah, I get it. I understand Mizorowski's fun, but let's not get crazy here.
Mizorowski's probably going to have to miss time at some point with how fast he throws. I hate to be Debbie Downer, but like he's going to need a surgery. He's throwing 102 every time. Like it's going to happen.
Oh, that's the whole thing. Like everyone's gooing themselves over Chase Burns and Mizorowski, and it's fun. Mizorowski especially right now, super fun. But if you really think he's not headed towards a Tommy John, like you're crazy right now. This might be the time too, if you have him as an asset in a dynasty or keeper league, where somebody's just going to be willing to just throw the kitchen sink at you in a trade. If you want to take that and go win a league, do it. I would do it right now because at some point he's going to miss a season and change. It's just a fact at some point. Geek wants to know stash DeLauder or Lawler. Chase DeLauder for sure.
Yeah, Lawler, the way they used him before when they called him up, he didn't even play. Like I think that'll be different next time, but I think DeLauder's the better stash.
Yeah, we got a lot of DeLauder questions here. The answer is yes. Stash him now if you can.
The guy said he would be taking up a bench spot. You'd be willing to burn a bench spot for him?
Yeah, because I think he's going to be up before the break.
Okay.
I think there's desperation there. You know, Manzardo with all the errors yesterday. Like you can't have that guy playing the field. Carl Santana's 400 years old. Like you got to give this team some kind of life. Angel Theory, should I trade or hold Carroll? I have a solid outfield without him. Then trade him. Bring in a pitcher. Give yourself something. Like, don't wait a month for him to come back. It could be a month. Could be more. It might not look good when he comes back. Like, there's so many variables here that I just don't want to do it. One other rookie I want to talk about, too. Right-handed prospect of the Yankees. And no, I'm not making this up. Get ready, everybody. Cam Schlitter threw 6 shutout innings for AAA. So Schlitter really, is delivering. He really let it all hang out. 6'6" righty, 4 starts at AAA. He's got a 1.69 ERA, 0.98 WHIP, 33 strikeouts to 8 walks in 21 innings. So jokes aside, right now the Schlitter is looks pretty good. It sounds like a pitch you make up, the Schlitter.
A slider and a splitter and a changeup all. I think they're going to just put Marcus Stroman in this rotation when he's back and not bring up Schlitter. I hate that, but that's probably what they're going to do because he's getting paid. I mean, I hope the stream doesn't get flagged again today. It looks like we may be headed that direction.
You never know. It was more like a split Schlitter, Sometimes that happens.
I don't know. I don't know that the Yankees are going to call him up this year and actually use him. That's kind of the concern. You okay?
I'm just thinking of all the jokes that are log jamming in my brain. Don't let the door hit you where the Lord slit you. I don't know. You know what? We didn't even get flagged for Rusty Kuntz. We got flagged because some sort of betting thing like that at the end of the day. Like that's how we got flagged. I'm like, well, betting is fine. We do it. I mean, we literally have a thing called betting pros. Like, I don't understand. Like, oh, YouTube, you silly goose, you.
Oh my God.
But jokes aside, Cam Schlitter right now has been really good. So, got to make room for the Schlitter on your.
They should. They should, but will they? Will the Yankees? Do you think he'll get called up this year?
I think Aaron Boone would rather have to. I'm trying to think. What would be torture for Aaron Boone? I'm trying to think. Like Aaron Boone would probably want to tear his ACL playing basketball again, like he did that time when they went to then go get A-Rod, then have to watch Marcus Stroman throw another pitch for the Yankees. That's what I think. Do you agree?
I hope you're right. we will see what they end up doing because Stroman's making how much money? $18 million. So I think they're probably going to put him back in the rotation when he's ready. But I'm with you. He doesn't deserve it. He shouldn't be there. But I think that's the way the wind's blowing.
Well, I hope it blows closer to the Schlitt because that's the guy I wanted to see in the Bronx. Let's go 3 up and 3 down. Pete Alonso, 3 for 4 with a double. Mets back on top, back in first place. Let's go. Everyone's always, God, the doom and gloom around the Mets when they lose a couple games is hilarious. It's happened twice now, and I'm like, can we take a breath? Like, I know it, Mets fans, I get it. It's been a long and winding, tough road, and you're used to disappointment. Just ride the wave. Just chill out, man. It's a long season. Junior Caminero, solo home run. How good has Caminero been in the last 6 weeks, man? I mean, let's talk about him right now. Right now, is he a first-round pick in 2026? Junior Caminero?
No. I don't think he's a first-round pick. I think he's like a second, third. First seems a little aggressive.
I don't think he's a third. I think he's a second-rounder, at least. I think let me rephrase. Is he a top 20 player next year?
Feels a little aggressive. I think that it's maybe close. Right now, he's 35th to date on the season. So, yeah, he's probably close to it. If it's a 15-teamer, I could see him going in the – I think he's like top 30.
All right, how about this? Here's his pace for this year. You ready for Caminero's pace? You ready? You got your socks on? Okay, because I'm going to blow your socks off. His pace is 40-102. 96 runs scored. 10 stolen bases. What do you think? Sure he's not a first-round pick? Sounds like a first-round pick to me. Let's say he ends up with 34, 190 and 7 steals. That sounds like a first-round pick to me or close to it.
I still think he's probably closer to the second. I wouldn't fight anybody if he was ending up in like the back end there, but just thinking about that first round, I don't know that he is going to get into the top. Like Ohtani, Judge, Acuna, Ellie, Witt, Jose Ramirez, Tucker, PCA, Wood, Carroll, Tatis, Soto, Lindor. Like it's just really tough to get into that top group. But maybe I think the second round. I think the second round makes sense for him.
All right, Retin. Shout out to Retin who just resubbed here. Also, there's a question we were having trouble getting it up there, but I'm sorry, written by Zach. That's what it is. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. When everything's written out for me, I struggle. I was like, this is weird dyslexia. Like I am Ron Burgundy. Written by Zach. Thank you for resubbing. But when I read it quick, it looked like, Rhett in Bizik to me. I don't know. These are problems. Blame public schools.
You'll be okay.
Is there any value I can get at Jung-Ho Lee at the moment? I want to drop him, but I feel like I can get something for him. So Simpson, Brian Reynolds, any of those guys, those are the people they have in their outfield. I don't know. I mean, Jung-Ho Lee is just fine. If there's something better on the waiver wire, I would drop him for a pitcher or a closer, potentially something like that. It seems like a shallow league kind of question here to me. But what do you think about Jung-Ho Lee rest of season? Just kind of get that out there.
Yeah, I don't mind moving on from him. Like as much as I like him as a player, he doesn't provide a ton of fantasy juice, especially while the batting average is what it is. 267 BABIP, and I think that turns around. So he probably hits 270 or 280 rest of the way, but won't be a lot of homers, won't be a lot of steals. I think in a lot of cases you can move on. And you have a solid outfield, so I don't really mind it.
The other up here, Michael Busch went 2 for 4, his 13th homer against the Cardinals. And where'd he do it? Busch Stadium. Gotta love that. That's a first. Busch going yard in Busch. Cam Schlitter. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. Carlos Santana 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. He leads the downs. Janson junk was junk. No decision against the Giants. Boo, 5 runs, 8 hits, 3 2/3. Oh, well, so much for Janson junk. He looked good in a couple starts before that. Hayden Birdsong. Oh, you think the Giants have some regrets there? Some regrets, potentially? 7 runs on 4 hits he gave up. They give up the wrong guy. They should have given up Birdsong and not Kyle Harrison, you think, in that trade, Joey? What do you think?
I don't know about that. I think they're probably about even going forward. Maybe Harrison is a little more valuable just being the lefty, but I don't think either of them are like exceptional arms. Birdsong, like considering the run of opponents he's had recently, this has been really bad. Like I wouldn't mind moving on from him as well if we're talking a 10 or a 12 teamer.
All right, we're going to keep taking questions today, too. It's a fun Friday. We're having a good time. Welsh is away, so we can do whatever the hell we want. Let's get to some more discussions about the Giants, actually, which brings us to our Microsoft Chasing Challengers segment, everybody's favorite part of the show. Just like the athletes who push boundaries and redefine what's possible, business decision makers today are turning challenges into opportunities, and Microsoft meets you where you are with tools and guidance to help you make impact with safe, secure AI solutions. So, whatever challenges you're facing, Microsoft empowers you with the expertise to say, bring it on. And in this segment, we spotlight the challenges faced by the San Francisco Giants. I want to talk about the Giants for a moment. Giants have had a really good season. Logan Webb has been terrific. The ownership says, hey, we're going to go and take on a bunch of money from Rafael Devers. We signed Willie Adames. We were trying to sign Aaron Judge, Arson Judge, tried to sign everybody. Carlos Correa, remember that? Remember they tried to say Carlos Correa? Nothing worked for the Giants. But finally, they're kind of figuring things out. But they're still 6.5 games behind the Dodgers despite all of that. And I look at the pitching staff, and after Webb, and I know Robbie Ray's pitched really well, I definitely have my concerns about what's going on. I think the Giants, if they're really serious, they can't rely on Verlander and Birdsong at the end of this rotation. They just can't do it. So we got to look somewhere else. I think maybe the Giants, if they're truly serious, and they must be because they're only a half game out of the wild card, maybe they should be out there pounding the pavement for another starting pitcher, because I don't think what they've got currently constituted the back end at 4 and 5 are really enough for them. You hope that the bats can come around a little bit, but maybe, just maybe, if you're the San Francisco Giants, you sense a little bit of a weakness here in the Dodgers, especially with all the pitching injuries they've had, that if you could just get to the playoffs and get into a short series, maybe you could take out the Dodgers. I don't think it's impossible. Heck, the Padres almost did it last year. So those are the challenges facing the San Francisco Giants, who are doing a good job. Giants fans should be very happy with what the ownership has done there. And remember, Microsoft AI solutions empower you to take bold steps and new ideas to help drive your business forward. With Microsoft as your trusted partner, you can navigate your journey with confidence, finding innovative solutions and reaching new possibilities. Visit Microsoft.com/challengers to learn more. All right, let's talk about the injuries, Joe. Carlos Mendoza said that Griffin Canning may have suffered an Achilles injury, and it certainly did look like it. It was terrible looking. Very sad. Griffin Canning's been terrific this year for the Mets. I mean, complete turnaround for him. So, again, it's like when it rains, it pours. And right now, it is raining cats and dogs in the Mets' healthy rotation, because it has gone from the top, the healthiest, to now we're like, when is Shohei Ohtani coming back? Is he coming back next week? Oh, my God, I hope so. So what do you make out of this latest injury and what the Mets should do after it now?
Well, didn't Manaea have some kind of setback? Didn't they just push him back or something?
He had loose bodies in his elbow. So basically what they do for that is they give you a cortisone shot and they say, suck it up, Buttercup. That's basically what they say. And then in the offseason, you have that surgery to remove the loose bodies and get, recover, and you're fine. Ron Darling on the broadcast, who pitched for many years, very good pitcher in the major leagues, he had it twice. And he said, yeah, it's a pain tolerance thing. And he should be able to tolerate it, basically. But what do you expect? He's an 86 Met. So, those guys were built a little differently.
I don't know, man. If I'm counting on Manaea to throw quality innings rest of the season for the Mets or for my fantasy teams, you should probably make alternative arrangements at this point. I don't know really what they're going to get. I mean, we talked yesterday about the potential for a Jacob deGrom reunion. Maybe they go after a Keller or another name on the market, Sandy maybe. But they need some reinforcements at this point. McGill, gone. Kodai Senga, who knows when he's coming back. Manaea, who knows when exactly he'll be around and what he'll look like. I think they need to make a trade.
Manaea's playing catch Thursday. So the fact that he's playing catch again, you hope that he goes back out on the rehab. I'm expecting him, again, like the Glasnow plan. Like, he's back after the All-Star break.
I don't think they can have Paul Blackburn starting meaningful games down the stretch. I think that needs to stop. That needs to change. But
well, look, and Montas, I mean, I'm still in awe of what I saw with Frankie Montas. If Montas can pitch well in the stead, that's huge. If they can get Manaea back, if you can get him up before the All-Star break, awesome. Like, he was getting real close and until the setback. So I can only imagine the setback's going to push him until after the All-Star break now. So that's fine. Like, I'm okay with that, especially because he had so many innings last year. That's the other thing, too. Sean Manaea had a giant amount of innings, plus all the postseason innings. And those were laborious postseason innings. He was in some big pressure situations, and he performed very well. So I could see them putting that off. Senga, you hope that you get Senga back, too. I just don't know if that's enough. Like, I think you need another insurance policy. I don't know who that is, but I think the Mets would be wise to go all in and make a splash and do something there. I think that's what we should do.
Yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
Let's do the next bit here for injuries. Also, Mark Vientos was supposed to be activated yesterday, but he's going to be activated today instead. Jose Ramirez left the game yesterday. He got hit on the arm. It was a bruise. Everything was checked out. I don't know if he's getting the lineup today. I don't know if those lineups have come out yet since we started, but he's day to day, so maybe he sits today and back by Saturday. We'll see. Vlad Guerrero Jr. also got hit. Lots of guys getting hit yesterday. Joe, what'd you think of all the all the guys getting dinged yesterday? Big
Well,
time
they hit.
players too, Vladdy and Jose Ramirez.
Well, they hit Vladdy 2 days in a row. So Gausman went out there and threw a fastball at J Ram's side, and he ended up like moving his arm, and it hit him in the arm a little bit. But I kind of like it. Maybe it's just because I'm a Blue Jays fan. I'll be a little bit biased in the situation, but like if you're gonna throw at our star player 2 days in a row, then we're gonna throw at your star player. That's just the way it works. That's baseball, old school baseball.
Old school baseball. Okay, let's get to Cade Povich. Had 5 runs in a rehab start. Not good. 3 of them earned. Bryce Harper took 75 swings off a pitching machine. That's good. Royce Lewis, who's been out since June 13th with a strained hamstring, he is starting his rehab today. So, what could go wrong? Zach Geloff went 2 for 4 in the rehab with 2 doubles, so he's hoping to get back soon to the Athletics. Lance McCullers could return to the rotation tomorrow. Would you start Lance McCullers coming off that foot issue tomorrow if you had him on your roster, Joe?
Tomorrow would be Cubbies. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do that first time out against a high-powered offense. I think I'd pass for tomorrow.
Okay. And lastly, Christian Javier through batting practice on Wednesday. The hope is he comes back on sometime in August. I think that's what they're looking for. That brings us to the best bets
Of the day.
with Joey P and Joey O. That's right, all the Joes. Joe Orrico is going to show you his O face during the bets today. Let's get to Seattle on the money line -112. Logan Gilbert on the mound against Nady Eovaldi in his return. I'm just going to take my shot here. I mean, Logan Gilbert's spectacular. I'm getting just barely juice on this one. I'll flip the coin in honor of Logan Gilbert and take a shot here with Seattle, especially that offense with Cal Raleigh's been on fire. So let's do that. And let's think that Nady Eovaldi's probably a 4-inning starter today, maybe 5, but probably more like 4. Let's get into that Texas bullpen. Juan Soto against the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh to drive in a run, +130, yes please. And Aaron Judge against the Athletics this weekend. Get ready, boys and girls. Another hot streak's coming against the Athletics here, -110 to drive in a run too. So Joe Orrico, what do you have lined up for the boys and girls on a fun Friday with bets?
So I'm starting off with Brian Bayo, who has been quite a bit better as of late. Under 1.5 walks, you're getting it at +120. Now, his command can be something that's a little shaky at times, but if you're looking over the course of the month of June, Toronto is walking less than any other team in baseball, just 6.5%. So I feel pretty good about that one at plus money. A little bit on the safer side with Landon Raup, over 4.5 strikeouts going up against the White Sox today, a team that strikes out quite a bit. They're not the top, strikeout team in the league, but if you're just looking at June, the 4th worst strikeout rate at 25.8%. So I feel pretty good about that one as well. And then Sonny Gray, I'm doing a little bit of a parlay here just to get the better line. Sonny Gray over 5.5 strikeouts against Cleveland in their putrid offense, and also going with the Cardinals money line in that one for +190. So liking all 3 of those. Brian Bayo under 1.5 walks, Landon Raup over 4.5 strikeouts, and then Sonny Gray over 5.5 Ks combined with the Cardinals money line.
Remember, when you're betting, bet responsibly, and also go do it over at fantasypros.com/leadingoff. Bet $5, win $250 in bonus bets when your first bet hits, only at FanDuel at fantasypros.com/leadingoff. Go use it today and use the Betting Pros tools too. Very exciting times. BP is going to get a big makeover this summer in time for football season. So now's the time to download the app and go premium for free for 7 days. Use that promo code leadingoff. Bet smarter, not harder. Use the Betting Pros app wherever you get your apps from. Let's go to the home run board. You're not going to see me on this thing ever. Joe Orrico, are you calling home runs? Calling you out.
I call them not every single day. I missed a lot of time earlier in the year, and I am so far behind at this point that I need like some Carlos Delgado 4 home run games to get back into the mix here. So I need some miracles.
Those were the days. Remember Carlos Delgado was a catcher when he came up. Remember that?
I adored him. He was technically on the 93 World Series team. I don't think he played in the playoffs, but I believe he got a ring for that as a catcher, as the backup catcher to Pat Borders, was it?
I did not realize. Pat Borders would have been the catcher, yeah. Kelly Gruber, Pat Borders, John Olerud, Devon White. Those were the days.
That 93 team, man. Ricky Henderson, Dave Winfield, Like that 93 team, Jack Morris, Steve, like that. What a team.
Dave Steve pitched in New York or Chicago or even LA, Dave Steve probably would be in the Hall of Fame. Dave Steve was a terrific pitcher, but he pitched in Toronto, and I never thought he got the credit he deserved. Like I used to love to watch that guy pitch. That guy was tremendous, and I'm surprised. I'm delighted and surprised that you have such a lord there, because were you even born then? Like barely. Like
no, I wasn't alive for the World Series teams, but I am as a baseball. I wouldn't say I'm a historian, but I'm a student of the game, and especially for my team.
Welsh is an idiot. You know, I love Welsh, but he's an idiot. You mentioned something, he's like, I wasn't even born. I'm like, I don't care. I could talk to you about the 75 Reds. I
still know JFK was assassinated. I wasn't born for that, you know. Like,
that's right.
You know, some things are big enough.
Assassinated, Joe. Remember, there's the internet. Now we're really going to get flagged here. I'm going this weekend for a home run call with Aaron Judge. That's right. In his ballpark against the Athletics. They can't pitch at all. Give me a couple home runs. Get me on that board, Aaron Judge. Get me on that board. I want 3 from you this weekend. I'm asking for a lot. I need a lot. Let's go, Aaron Judge. Joe, where are you going for your home run call this weekend?
I'm going with Seiya Suzuki, going up against Brandon Walter, and I'll take that in perpetuity throughout the weekend against the Astros. Lefty versus righty. Suzuki's hit 3 home runs this week. He's been great this season, especially in the power department. So I'll take that one, and I believe it's plus 375, depending on your book.
Fun show today. It was great hanging out with all of you. I want everyone to have a wonderful weekend. We'll come back and see you on Monday. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Joe Orrico, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. It's nice to be on the other end of Papa Joe for a change. Not gonna lie.
Man, I don't know what it is with the two of us. You think we're broadcasting from, the middle of a mountain or something, but
it's about the internet being batty.
The Canadian internet, but you can't blame the Canadian internet. That's only my excuse.